Thank you. Thanks, Dean. Thank you for including me. I was kind of parachuted into this panel as a representative of the National Council of Public History. Ultimately, we wanted to have a little bit of a voice as to what's happening south of the border and what's happening and how that plays and what the future is there, because there is a considerable amount of discussion and debate amongst the NCPH. What exactly is the future of the public history programs? The webpage that's here on the screen lists off all of the current recognized programs in North America. It's roughly 75, 78 programs that are listed on there. I contacted Vivian at the University of Louisiana, who is the chair of the Curriculum and Program Committee, and asked him exactly what's going on in the public history programs. And he came up with three very interesting points. One, it seems that the growth of public history programs, the establishment of public history programs in the United States has reached a critical point. The programs that there doesn't seem to be new programs that are being established. In other words, we've reached that critical mass of the number of programs that are there. At the same time, his second point is that we've also started to see, well, we're beyond the plateau of the number of students enrolling in public history programs in the United States. It's actually starting to dip. So they're getting less students. And there's many reasons for this. While some of the smaller schools, the smaller programs are losing students, the bigger schools are getting more students. So it's part of the discussion, which leads to the third point, which is the closure of schools, of programs rather, it seems to be a question of things going more to national or larger based programs, while smaller regional programs are being shut down as there's a struggle between national versus local, which is an interesting debate in public history, as so much of public history is about the local. If the University of Tennessee can't keep its program open, even though there's a considerable amount of support amongst the community, how does that actually how do we cope with that within the program itself? Now, public history programs in the United States, as Mike just mentioned, are long-standing. The first program is at University of California, Santa Barbara in the late 1970s, and from there, the NCPH and other programs have pushed to have more and more programs throughout the United States and around the world. The current two programs in Canada, we were trying to decide how many programs there were in Canada at the moment, and we've kind of settled on two. This is one example. There are the 70-odd schools in the United States, programs in the United States, but in Europe, there is a growing number of public history programs. In the United Kingdom, in the last 5 years, there's been 7 new programs that have been established. That has largely to do with the interests of very specific individuals who have gone into universities to establish formal programs, such as the University of Hertfordshire, where Alex Green, one of our colleagues, is basically left the public service to become an academic, and she decided she wanted a public history program, and she pretty much bullied the university into creating a public history program. The same is going on in Europe, as the continental Europe, as the rest of Europe is starting to grapple with the idea of what is public history. This is a very late addition. In France, for example, the very first public history program was established, promptly led to a massive debate about what is public history in France and why it doesn't matter. In their opinion, everything is public history, and there's no such thing, and we shouldn't be making such artificial distinctions, but that's one thing. At the same time, there are growing programs in the Netherlands, in Belgium, in Italy, in Germany. There's a new program in Spain. There are new programs that are developing in Latin America as well. The International Federation of Public History, of which I'm the vice chair, has been very open about trying to promote new programs and support other programs. For example, next year, our international conference is in Bogota. There's a brand spanking new program that just opened, and it's being partnered by various universities from Brazil, from Ecuador, from Argentina, and from Peru. So there's a growing interest in the concepts of public history, and there are new programs that are being developed. All of them are looking at the American model. So very much the same model that we have here. The North American model is probably a better look at it, and trying to decide exactly how they should adapt their programs to their current realities. One of the issues that, of course, I raised with Vivian was, what's the status of internships? And ultimately, he had a very interesting point, which is all public history programs should have an internship component to it, and he doesn't know of any in the United States that don't have one. While at the same time, he said that internship process is leading to creating a bit of a crisis in public history, which is a similar crisis that's happening in academic history in the United States, where students are graduating and there are no jobs. Their concern is that there are now so many public history graduates and there aren't enough jobs to actually fill, for the students to actually fill. So it's becoming a little bit of an identity crisis amongst themselves. For myself, I'm an employer of public historians. Over the last 15 years at the Department of Aboriginal Affairs and Northern Development Canada, I've hired 40 students through co-ops and internships. I've hired students from both of these institutions, full disclosure here. But at the same time, we've also hired students permanently. We've bridged them in, as it's called. I've bridged in 10 students over the last decade who have gone on. None of them are doing history jobs anymore. They started off doing historical research, and within a short amount of time, they branched off and all of them are doing policy-related research, which is currently my bread and butter. It's what I'm trying to promote. It's part of the question that I asked yesterday during the plenary, which is how do we better integrate history into the policy-making process, which is what I'm actually studying at Carleton this year during my residency. There you go.
Well, thank you to our panelists.